Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, March 28th, 2022. We'd like to welcome all of you who are with us tonight. We'd like to recognize City Council member from Prattville, Jerry Starnes. We appreciate you being here with us. We will call this meeting to order. We will begin first with a special presentation. As we've done in the past several years, we've had the opportunity to recognize our young people for accomplishments where they may achieve something on the statewide level. So we have recognized numerous state champions, volleyball teams, softball teams, track athletes, cross-country athletes, swimmers, and today is a first. We have the opportunity to recognize a young man, Mr. Jake Allison, from Edgewood Academy, who was the AISA weightlifting state champion in the 275-pound weight class. Jake has attended Edgewood Academy for 10 years and is a senior at Edgewood Academy. He plans to attend Auburn University studying material engineering. He won that weight class this year with several very impressive lifts, one bench press of 350 pounds, squat of 405, and deadlift of 385 pounds, totaling 1,140 pounds. So certainly an accomplishment, and I think being a former college athlete myself, I will say this, people who tell you they can lift certain weights or run a certain speed, until they've done it in a competition where they're being held to the standards of fully doing a full squat and a true bench press, I wouldn't believe them until you've actually seen them do it in a real competition. So this is a tremendous accomplishment. Jake, if you'd come up to the microphone, some of the commissioners might have some questions for you, and then we'll get a group picture together and give you this resolution we have prepared. Any comments or questions from commissioners?
Jake, we're just proud of you, man, for working hard and dedicating yourself to putting the hours in, because we all know that, as the chairman just said, that's until you do the competition. And I have been affiliated with sports for many years, and I've heard people brag and talk about things, and when they get to competition time, they sort of fall to the wayside, as you yourself have found out. And it's a great reward, and I know your family's proud of you, your school's proud of you, and we are. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you.
Jake, we couldn't be more proud. I'm sure, I don't know you personally, but I can look at you and tell you that this goes much further than weightlifting with your family here. I'm sure you're a fine young man, and we couldn't be more proud of you, and I always want to be your friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's right. Yeah. Jake, I'm proud of what you've done. Congratulations on your accomplishment. It took a lot of hard work. I know you've got a good solid foundation with your parents here, Leon and Amy, and especially your coach, who I know dedicates a lot of time to make sure you're successful, as your parents do as well. So we're very proud of what you've done. We always enjoy recognizing our students in the county for their either team or personal accomplishments, and we take great pride in recognizing you tonight.
And congratulations, Jake. Are you planning on continuing this in college?
I'll still work out when I go to college, but not professionally.
Okay, what school? Have you made up your mind where you're going?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to go to Auburn University.
Okay. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jake, it's certainly exciting, and as Commissioner Mercer and Commissioner Daughtry stated, we certainly recognize family and coaches and teachers and others who have supported you along the way. And I just encourage you to you've got a few months left of high school at Edgewood Academy. I encourage you to be a great example to those that will follow your footsteps. I think that when you accomplish certain things in life, whether it be a successful weightlifting competition or academics or employment, whatever it may be, when you're a champion, you take on responsibility, and responsibility is to be an example to those around you and help lift them up so that they can follow your footsteps. And maybe it might not be in weightlifting, it may be in something else, but be an encourager and a lifter of others. All right? Okay, we'll have you come up and we'll take a group picture. All right. We will now proceed to the next item on our agenda, regular business. Review the minutes of the March 14, 2022 commission meeting. Any comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we will proceed. Review the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 5, 2022 through March 18, 2022. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for that time period, the memorandum of warrants was $2,486,748.74.
Thank you. Any items of discussion? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to our old business. First item, consider one appointment to the Wetumpka Impact Crater Commission. Appointment is due April 11, 2022. As you'll recall, we received the resignation of Ms. Janice Horton, who served on that commission for many years and has been a dedicated member of the Wetumpka community. We opened, receiving her resignation letter earlier this month, we've opened the 30-day window. Anyone who is interested in serving on the Wetumpka Impact Crater Commission, we have information at our office and a form to be completed for consideration, and we will hopefully make that appointment at our first meeting in April. Are there any recommendations or names to be submitted at this time? All right, hearing none, we will proceed. Notice of a public hearing on Thursday, April 21st, 2022, at 10 a.m. to discuss proposed vacation by adjoining landowner of an unnamed road off Shadowwood Lane. This is just the notice of public hearing, and if you all see the time is 10 a.m., that is due to the fact that April 21st, that meeting, which will be Thursday of that week, is our Student Government Day, our Senior Day, County Government Day. So seniors from schools across Elmore County will come to the courthouse. They will participate in our county commission meeting, which will be held at 10 a.m. on that Thursday, along with several other activities they will participate in this area, to include opportunities to register to vote and information about employment opportunities at the county level. Any comments or questions on that? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to the next item. Discuss a 160 special retail, more than 30 days alcohol license application for the Ranch Multiplex by the Ranch Multiplex LLC at 2705 Williams Road, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092. And I'll just take a moment to refresh everyone's memory on this particular matter. Late 2021, I think it was in November, we held a public hearing here during one of our county commission meetings to consider this alcohol license for the Ranch Multiplex. At the time, public hearing, which is required for these types of matters, we had individuals speak for and against this particular liquor license. If I recall, we had a very large group of people here that night. There were conversations regarding the safety on both sides of the issue. The applicant explained that a liquor license would provide some level of control over the consumption and issuance of alcohol in the facility, along with more, obviously, business opportunities. Those who were here speaking against the application or the consideration for the liquor license majority were residents who lived near the area, who explained that they were having issues with litter and noise and parking, and also the members and the pastor of the church, which is adjacent to the multiplex, was here speaking against the issuance of this liquor license as well. think it's important for us as a county commission to consider all matters with the utmost importance. If you'll recall, we did table this item at that time, and it was not necessarily tabled for any of the things I just shared. It was tabled for an issue with the fire marshal and the use of the facility. And the fire marshal had provided documentation of some issues and restrictions that were placed on the occupancy of the building. So we tabled it at that time, and now today we are at a point where it's time to discuss this matter again. I will share with my commissioners, which I think I've shared with each of you individually, but I'll share here publicly. I have had opportunities to meet with the fire marshal. I've had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Henderson, one of the proprietors of the Ranch Multiplex LLC. I went to the facility last week, I think on Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday, I don't recall for sure. But I went to the facility and toured the entire area. My primary purpose of touring the facility was the occupancy and some of the issues that the fire marshal had expressed. Since that time, we've received documentation from the fire marshal, the architect of record, and the structural engineer, who have all provided documentation to indicate that the building was safe for occupancy. There are a few expectations placed on the operators of the facility with respect to access to certain areas, some expectations on occupancy and that type of thing. But those restrictions or limitations placed by the fire marshal do not prohibit the use of the facility now in some form or fashion. So because we've gotten to this point, now I think it's the commission's responsibility to take the item up again for discussion and evaluate the application on its merits. So I'm going to yield to my fellow commissioners for any comments or questions or recollections of the goings-on at the public hearing and or since that time, and we can continue that discussion here.
Chairman Stubbs, I'll start. So in what you just stated to all of us, the issues of liability and concern that we had when we met on November 25th when it was initially presented with the fire marshal, the engineers, and the ABC board and capacity, that has all been green-lighted for Mr. Henderson and the Ranch Multiplex.
Yes, I think there are a few parts of the multiplex that are still under some form of construction, and so the expectation is for them to be barriered off, which Mr. Henderson has agreed to do that and has already done that to some level. So that part of it, there are some modest limitations to the use of the facility. But the fire marshal has an agreement with Mr. Henderson that both of them have signed that spells out the details of the fire marshal's expectations of the use of the building. And that's in writing, and it's signed by both. So for that purpose, the fire marshal has agreed, or quote-unquote, signed off on the use of the facility within his parameters.
Mr. Chairman, y'all have a copy of that signed-off plan in front of you.
Right, so we have the drawings here and the plans, and this has also been emailed to all of the commissioners. I think it was last week. It was sent out with some architectural drawings, some details, restrictions, that type of thing.
And Chairman, another position to just statement, I know when we were here in November, I know a lot of our residents had concerns about it being an open facility. I went out to the multiplex actually last week or 2 weeks ago, and the door sealed. Did you get any report on the door sealing and if that is helping with noise complaints in that regard?
Well, the roll-up garage doors, for lack of a better term that I'll call them, which are on the sides of the facility, are operational. There are some current expectations with the fire marshal for those to be open in certain circumstances, but I would imagine that those do help with any type of noise issues, at least to some extent. One other item I failed to mention in my attempt to recap the meeting from November the 25th, Sheriff Franklin also attended the meeting and indicated that the sheriff's office had received calls in the weeks leading up to that meeting about some events, some parking on the side of the road. I think maybe some residents had called about litter being in their yard, beer bottles, that type of thing. I don't know the exact details of all of those calls. I think many of us as county commissioners also received calls leading up to that. Primarily for me, it was noise complaints, but there may have been other complaints as well. At that time, the sheriff had indicated that he had received over 40 calls to the location, to that general area. I don't know specifically only to inside the facility, but in the area. Any other comments or questions?
Just on that, Chairman, I'm sorry, I know I have all the questions. Did you receive an update from the sheriff of how many calls since our November 25th meeting that have been made at the multiplex? Has the number gone down?
I have not received any updates, but I do know that there have been very limited events at the multiplex in the months leading up to this meeting because of the fire marshal's restrictions and the work that Mr. Henderson is doing on the facility, which he's done a tremendous amount of work there. So I have not spoken with the sheriff about any calls in recent weeks or months.
Chairman, I don't know if this question will be for Mr. Bauer or Mr. Courtney or you, but this plan here that was generated by the multiplex personnel,
Their architect,
the architect?
and they did that in concert with the fire marshal. It was,
Okay, because I've seen in here at the bottom, it said when Mr. Courtney has signed it, it said that do stipulate these considerations are made in return for temporary short-term use of this facility. So is this licensed? This is not temporary license.
That's not what he's asking for. It's not temporary.
I mean, I know we've considered a temporary license for specific events. It was like an outdoor event, but
Yes, I think to answer your question, there have been, the use of the facility, just in general, the temporary use of the facility, or that phrase, is simply that there are current limitations that are all spelled out here that the fire marshal and Mr. Henderson have agreed to in terms of certain parts of the building being used.
Okay.
I think as Mr. Henderson does work on the facility, the fire marshal will continue to pull things back and say, okay, you've checked that box, we can now, I think there's one room, for example, that he showed me that is a great space for probably things like bridal showers and funerals, but the fire marshal has an expectation of that small area being sprinklered. And when it gets the sprinkler system in there, then the fire marshal will check it off, and he would then have use of that space,
Right.
which is on this map.
I understand.
But in terms of liquor license, yes, there have been fundraiser events by various organizations where we as a county commission have approved a one-day liquor license or usually it's a couple weeks because of the possibility of a rain delay, for example, for a fundraiser event. we can approve a liquor license for a window of time for them to use it so that if it does get rained out one weekend, they can do it the next weekend. So we have approved those types of single event use liquor license. City of Wetumpka does that as well for some of their events around the river. But this is not that type of
Okay,
license.
and because I just, I mean, I've been on the commission 5 years now. I recall us approving liquor license or considering liquor license for like a package store or a convenience store, but I don't remember.
So those, the type of liquor license that you're referring to, which would be for a Dollar General, for example, or some establishment like that, is they can continually serve it. It's every day, you know, their store opens, their store closes, or a restaurant that's open all the time, they always have the ability to sell alcohol. This type of license that they're applying for basically constitutes a liquor license that when they have events, which aren't necessarily going to be every night of the week. So one week it might be Thursday and Friday, the next week it might be Saturday night, the next week it might be Friday night, and then there might be 2 weeks where they have no events. So it basically, they're not continually operating a bar, so to speak, every day. They are, it's sort of like an event license, but it's continual. So as many events as he has scheduled, he can use the
Right.
authority of the liquor license.
But I do remember when we had you were talking about the public hearing we had on this, sorry. The facility becoming compliant with the state fire marshal's requirements in whatever capacity they have been able to do that, that was not contingent. That was not the only consideration for approving or disapproving the license itself. There were other people here that night that are posted, and they had issues as well. So that answers my questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that the premise of our decision to table the item on November the 25th was because we were not in a position to authorize a liquor license with the fire marshal having the court order on the building. Now that there is some reprieve to that, now we're kind of back to square one. Now we are evaluating this on its merits. Its merits are all the things that we discussed. The facility is of the opinion that a liquor license will allow them to have more control over the use or consumption of alcohol because they will sell it at their location. They will have control of the use or consumption of alcohol. Those who were here against the issuance of the liquor license were concerned with the public nuisance side of it, the fact that it is within, you know, you can see a number of houses from the front stoop. It's you know, in a residential area. It is adjacent to a church, and those groups of people were here that night. But again, because we had the fire marshal issue, we weren't in a position to make a decision at that time. So now we're back to considering on its merits. We've got the sheriff and his comments. We've got the proprietor and his comments regarding safety and safe consumption of alcohol. We've got the residents, we've got the church, and we've got just the business aspect of it. So those are all the things that we're now in a position to consider.
Thank you, Chairman.
Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, we will proceed with new business. Consider awarding bid inquiry 2022-PW13, CQ 16 by 14 by 40, concrete bridge culvert over Goodwater Creek to the lowest responsible bidder.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we had two bids come in for this project. They were within $11,000 of each other. The bids are at $816,053.86 for the low bid. We recommend awarding to Carcel and G Construction LLC, the low bidder.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on that bid inquiry? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed with our consent docket. Approve travel memorandum, approve proposed plat for Longleaf Plat Number 4, 9 lots. Approve proposed plat for Price Commercial Park Plat Number 1, 2 lots. Any comments or questions on anything on the consent docket? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed with personnel notifications. Notification of promotion of Jacob Body, investigator, effective 3/3/2022. Notification of reassignment of James Talley, investigator, replace C. Shaw, effective 3/3/2022. Notification of resignation of Zachary Davidson, deputy, effective 4/3/2022. Notification of hire of Kentavious Kendrick, deputy, replace Z. Davidson, effective 4/8/2022. Notification of resignation of Kristen Cully, dispatcher Tier 2, effective 4/3/2022. Notification of hire of Brianna Rhodes, dispatcher Tier 2, replace C. Cully, effective 4/8/2022. Notification of hire of Angelica Pelletier, dispatcher Tier 2, effective 4/8/2022. Notification of hire of Christy Kanagala, assessing clerk, fill vacant slot, effective 3/28/2022. We'll now proceed with reports to the commission. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, I have no report tonight.
Thank you. We'll now have reports from the commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Hines.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's nice to see a lot of smiling faces out there. We have our annual Elmore County cleanup coming up. It'll be April the 22nd, starting that Friday, the 23rd that Saturday, and 24th that Sunday. You can go to our website and sign up, and please sign up by the 13th so that we can get your bags and have it set up where you can leave your bags in a certain place, and our highway department can swing by with the patrol and pick it up and take it to our landfill. That's a big thing that we've got to really go and get after, because Elmore County is a great county and we want to clean it up. Hobo is also having their cleanup that weekend on Lake Jordan, and Lake Martin is also having theirs with Russell Land. So we want everybody to work together, and all the churches to get registered, and the ball teams and any other organization like to get out there and participate. Also, I want to touch on, we are finalizing the last little bit of the contract with ERA, who will be our new garbage pickup facility that will be picking up containers. They will be getting with our residents somewhere at the end of April, the 1st of May to sign up. So if you haven't been contacted, don't worry. They will be contacting you, and when your neighbors start seeing containers show up, the blue ones, then if you don't get a call, then you can give ERA a buzz, and they'll sign you up, because that's what it is. It is a sign-up. It's the county approves the contract, and it's on the basis of signing up for service. The last thing is that we will start cutting our roadsides the 1st of April. Usually it starts in May, but this year we're going to try to get a jump on it because of all the rain. A lot of the grass is growing real fast, so we're going to start cutting the grass. So please watch out for our mowers as they're on the roads cutting, and be patient with them, because they're making our county look good. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Daughtry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one item. I want to personally thank our EMA department. You know, we get these weather warnings from these TV stations and so forth, but there's nothing like that local aspect of it that's provided by our EMA director and their team. And our county highway department is always ready to roll. I know during this last series, one of the commissioners posted a downed tree across the road, and within minutes, the highway department was responding. So I want to personally, you know, sometimes we take them for granted, but I want to personally take a moment to thank our county highway department, our EMA department, for always keeping us informed for potentially severe weather, even this coming week, as we look at pending possibility of weather. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer?
Thank you, Chairman. There's a few things I wanted to give updates on related to bills that are important to counties that have worked their way through the legislature. The first was in relation to broadband expansion. This is a constitutional amendment that if it's approved by the citizens, it will allow a county to participate in an expansion project, a broadband expansion project with providers, which of course would increase the possibility of people that don't have access to broadband. It would give them an increased ability to gain access. The next bill is in relation to our county emergency management professionals. This bill would allow our emergency management professionals to be statutorily recognized as for the public safety services that they offer the citizens in each county, which will also result in them having access to an increased level of federal funding in their efforts to serve citizens. The next item is in relation to mental health. As we all have seen here locally and of course across the nation, communities struggle with providing proper and adequate levels of mental health for many people, but in particular those services for the citizens that are incarcerated. With the passage of HB 70, it will allow law enforcement officers to partner with our mental health services in each county to allow these incarcerated citizens to gain greater access to mental health services, especially those that are in greatest need. The last item that's is relation to legislation is HB 371, which will make some changes to the way our county tax liens are operated. This legislation will allow for these tax lien auctions to be conducted online, which will give citizens greater access to place a bid on a particular property. Changing subjects in relation to unemployment rate here in Elmore County, I can report that the Alabama Department of Labor has released its February unemployment numbers, and Elmore County's unemployment rate was at 2.5%, and that's compared to 3.1% for the month of February. Just as a reminder, 4% is considered full unemployment, so Elmore County is in a very good position in relation to its unemployment rate. Those are very good numbers for the county, but one number that really stuck out to me was our available workforce, and we realized an increase of 255 citizens in Elmore County that joined the workforce, and we had 63 fewer people on the unemployment or receiving unemployment benefits for the month of February. I think that speaks volumes to the stability of our local economy, and I appreciate all of our businesses and our Economic Development Authority for all their efforts to ensure we have a good, stable economy. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Desiree Lewis Jackson.
Thank you, Chairman. You got it. I recently got married, so I'm back, y'all. Good evening to everybody out there. It's always good to see citizens in the audience. With happenings in District 5, if you ever go to Crenshaw Community Park, we have new playstations for the kids. I know that has been a hot topic for many, many years on getting new toys out there. So if you get a chance to check out Crenshaw Park, that's been a big thing that's happened for us in the last 4 weeks. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. I appreciate my fellow commissioners and their comments and their efforts in the community. Just one item with regards to the legislative session. As Commissioner Mercer stated, there have been several issues in the legislature that do have an impact on Elmore County or counties in general in some form or fashion. There are 7 legislative days left. They will be back in session tomorrow. We do have an item of pending local legislation that is a result of our public hearing that we held several meetings ago with regards to the ad valorem tax increase vote. Again, the school board, the Elmore County Board of Education, voted unanimously to move that forward to the county commission. We then held a public hearing as required by law and had a very active and engaged group participate in that public hearing, which resulted in the county commission voting unanimously to move it to the state legislature. For your information, when it moves from us to the state legislature, our local delegation then has to take action by putting that forward on the floor for it to potentially be voted on by the state legislature, and subsequently there would be an opportunity for the people of Elmore County to vote on an ad valorem tax increase that would support our education system, our schools, our public health, our economic development, and our volunteer fire departments and public safety in general. So I think that it's important for the public to know that that process has moved through from the Board of Education to the County Commission and is now in the state legislature. There are only 7 days remaining. If that bill does not get taken up in the state legislature, it will, for lack of a better word, die. It will not move forward, and it will be a non-event. For me and for the County Commission, having held the public hearing and voted unanimously for that to move forward, it is our position that it should be moved through the legislature and that it should be voted on by the people of Elmore County. For me, there's nothing more American than the people getting to vote on their own taxes. It seems to me that that is something that we all would want to have a say in, is to be able to determine what may happen with our property taxes. And as a reminder, anything that is voted on by the people of our county is then local money, which means our local Board of Education can expend those funds within what they deem necessary. And who better knows what we need in Elmore County than the people who work here in Elmore County? I don't think any of us feel that the state has the insight of what we need in Elmore County more than what our Elmore County leaders in education feel. So I just wanted to make sure that that was very clear of what our position is, and we will now move to important calendar dates. Brittany.
Monday, April 11th at 5 p.m. will be our next commission meeting work session with the business meeting immediately following. Thursday, April 21st is County Government Day. We will have our work session at 10 a.m. with the business meeting immediately following. And Friday, April 22nd through Sunday, April 24th is Elmore County's spring cleanup weekend.
All right, thank you. We'll reconvene shortly. Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to the Elmore County Commission business meeting dated Monday, March 28, 2022. We'll call this meeting to order. We'll begin our meeting this evening with an invocation offered by Commissioner Daughtry, following which I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful opportunity that we have to be stewards of our citizens, not only the monetary funds, but the county business. Father, may we bathe every decision that we make in prayer before we make a decision. And we ask for your wisdom, your guidance, that we will always do what's best for the citizens of the county. We thank you for the many blessings, the way you've blessed this county. And anything that's accomplished, we'll give you the praise, honor, and the glory, because it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Ms. Brittany, would you call roll?
Commissioner Hines?
Here.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Jackson?
Here.
We'll begin with a special presentation. Is there a motion to approve the resolution honoring the achievement of Jake Allison, AISA weightlifting state champion, 275-pound weight class?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Proceeding now to regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 14, 2022 commission meeting?
Most approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of March 5, 2022 through March 18, 2022?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson?
Yes.
Proceeding now with old business, is there a motion to approve or deny a 160 special retail more than 30 days alcohol license application for the Ranch Multiplex by the Ranch Multiplex LLC at 2705 Williams Road, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Hearing none, are there any other motions?
Chairman, I make a motion to deny.
Second.
We have a motion to deny, a second. Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry,
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
No.
All right, next item, new business. Is there a motion to approve or deny awarding bid inquiry 2022 PW 13 CQ 16 by 14 by 40 concrete bridge culvert over Goodwater Creek to the lowest responsible bidder?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry,
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
Proceeding now with the consent docket. Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented in the work session?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer,
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
We will forego the personnel notifications, and we will proceed. Are there any additional reports to the commission?
No, sir.
Any reports from commissioners? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to, who wants to make it?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
I'll second.
Ms. Brittany?
Commissioner Hines.
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Commissioner Jackson.
Yes.
We are adjourned.